This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Today's video is brought to you by my unrelenting petty joy at the self-inflicted damage Donald Trump has done to himself to the tune of $83.3 million. Nearly $100 million. The E Jean Carroll defamation case has, the jury has reached a verdict on the compensation part of this. You'll remember back in May is when he was found liable for sexually assaulting E Jean Carroll. And this is what the jury determined. The compensatory damages, $7.3 million, reputational repair, $11 million, punitive damages, $65 million for a grand total of $83.3 million. Do you remember, I tweeted this out just a few minutes ago. This is Friday night for me. I'll post this in the morning when it's more likely to be watched. But do you remember back in January of 2018 and even on the campaign trail, Donald Trump railing about we're going to open up the libel laws. So when people say damaging and defamatory things about you, you'll be able to take them to court and win lots of money, he said on the campaign trail. But here he is in the White House, presumably sitting across from his attorney general at the time. I don't know if that would have been Bill Barr or Jeff Sessions, but he is explaining how they're going to open up the libel laws so when you defame someone, you can be held accountable.
We are going to take a strong look at our country's libel laws so that when somebody says something that is false and defamatory about someone, that person will have meaningful recourse in our courts. Our current libel laws are a sham and a disgrace and do not represent American values or American fairness. So we're going to take a strong look at that. We want fairness. You can't say things that are false, knowingly false, and be able to smile as money pours into your bank account.
Just inject it into my veins. Look, Donald Trump absolutely has no one to blame but himself for this predicament. He is the one who defamed over and over and over and over and over E Jean Carroll after the horrific trauma he put her through. But he does, on a secondary level, a tertiary level, have Alina Habba to blame. I mean, ultimately, he picked her. But she is not a good lawyer by any estimation that I can conclusion I can come to. Here's another clip for you, and you're just so tasty of her just a month ago or so when she was on the Patrick Bet David podcast explaining that if she had a choice between pretty and smart, she's going to pick pretty because she can fake being smart.
Somebody said to me, Alina, would you rather be smart or pretty? And I said, oh, easy. Pretty. I can fake being smart.
Can you, though? Can you, Alina Habba, can you fake it? Because you can't fake being a good lawyer, especially when you're in a federal court. Doesn't seem like you can fake it too well. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Here's Jake Tapper cutting her off in her ranting and raving on the steps, which I'll get to. Here's Jake Tapper and what he had to say as he gives her a little bit of a mock.
To run to the ballot box, but don't get it twisted. We are seeing a violation of our justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not allowed to be stripped of every defense that you have. You are not allowed to be told.
All right, so you're getting an idea now about why Donald Trump's attorney is perceived as effective as she is, which is not particularly effective.
Yeah. It seems as though, and again, this is the perennial question with the Trump team and Donald Trump and everybody he surrounds himself with, who are ready for TV, but really not ready for prime time relative to their jobs and their duties. Alina Habba doesn't understand that this wasn't the trial, that he is already found liable in a civil case. The jury found him liable. That this wasn't the guilt portion of the trial. This was the compensation part. They already knew. They already found him to be liable. Now they're just going to figure out how much money. And she acts like she's just not allowed to put on a defense. You put on your defense, lady. You put on your defense, as milk toast and lackluster as it was. Here, to demonstrate just how terrible a lawyer she seems to be, I'll keep myself out of defamation trouble. She seems to be, to me, a layman. Here's Adam Klossfeld, his tweet with a little bit of a transcript of a moment that took place in court. Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, appears again to deny Carroll's claims, E. Jean Carroll's claims, prompting an objection. Judge Kaplan reminds the jury that it's been established that Carroll wasn't lying. Habba, it is established by a jury. And then the judge snaps at Habba. It is established, and you will not quarrel with me. You will finish your statement. Is this an officer of the court, the lawyer for the ex-president of the United States, denigrating our trial by jury system? Yeah, it was established by a jury. I mean, you can't tell the tone from the tweet, but would you put it past her? Here she is on the steps, following the $83.3 million verdict, ranting and raving like an idiot, playing to an audience of absolutely one human being, and that's Donald Trump. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's false. Maybe it's an audience of millions, because she is preaching to the cult of Donald Trump, delivering a sermon from on high to defend the dear cult leader.
Twisted. We are seeing a violation of our justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not allowed to be stripped of every defense that you have. You are not allowed to be told that you can't bring it up. And imagine a point where a judge tells the lawyer, before your client, the former president of the United States, the leading candidate and obvious nominee for the Republican Party, before he takes the stand to defend himself, Ms. Habba, tell me the questions you're going to ask in open court and tell me exactly what he's going to respond. And then edited my questions, edited the response he was allowed to give. And guess what my client did? He took the stand. He abided by the rules of this corrupt system that I have seen. We will immediately appeal. We will set aside that ridiculous jury. And I just want to remind you all of one thing. I will continue with President Trump to fight for everybody's First Amendment right to speak. Everybody's a right to defend themselves when they are wrongfully accused, and to be able to say, I didn't do it. And to double and triple and quadruple down and say, this is wrong. This is wrong. But we are in the state of New York. We are in a New York jury, and that is why we are seeing these witch hunts, these hoaxes, as he calls them. And this is another one of them. Be brought in New York, in states where they know they will get juries like this.
Is Georgia one of those states, Alina Habba? Also, very telling that she is explaining to the world, and especially reassuring Donald Trump and his, I'm sure, just freak out right now, that he is the former president of the United States of America, that he is the leading candidate for president for the Republican Party, as though he deserves special treatment. Do we not have equal justice under the law, equal protection under the Constitution of the United States? Justice is blind, all of these tropes we talk about all the time. I mean, there's a reason that statues of Lady Justice that are carved into bronze and into stone, not temporary depictions of Lady Justice, she has a blindfold on. But they want him to have special treatment. He's the former president. You have to treat him special. He's a special fella. I'll tell you what has changed. And that is Donald Trump's treatment of E. Jean Carroll following this verdict. This has rattled him. And the reason I know it's rattled him is because I've been looking at his True Social account over the course of the past several weeks, months, years, whatever. And Donald Trump is not mentioning her name. Remember, I just talked about it yesterday or the day before, that you go to his page and it is just page after page, scroll of him defaming, continuing to attack E Jean Carroll, a woman that a jury found him liable of sexual assault, attacking her continuously after he was found to have defamed her. But now that the jury reached a verdict of $83.3 million, he's not even saying her name. Check this out. There is no longer justice in America. Our judicial system is broken and unfair. You know? It is also something that really revs me up about Donald Trump is he acts like, I mean, we make jokes about him being a toddler, but when's the last time you've talked about this is unfair as an adult? How long have you lived in the world, Donald Trump, to not know that the world is unfair? To coin a phrase from Norm Macdonald, what do you live in, a cotton candy house, brother?
Well, you live in a cotton candy house or something? What the fuck? You don't know about life? How it only disappoints and gets worse and worse until it ends in a catastrophe?
Or maybe it's just you're a millionaire, likely, unlikely, a billionaire, and you've been treated differently your entire life. So when consequence befalls you, justifiable consequence for your rank actions, you find that unfair when it's the fairness in the world everyone else lives in. He also said this, just immediately preceding that post, absolutely ridiculous. I fully disagree with both verdicts and will be appealing the whole Biden-directed witch hunt focused on me and the Republican Party. And the Republican Party? Our legal system is out of control and being used as a political weapon, capitalized for some reason. They have taken away all First Amendment rights. This is not America. It's too good. Again, this video brought to you by Schadenfreude. Look, this is just one of several cases that are taking place right now. We can take a brief moment to breathe, a sigh of relief, maybe feel the emotions I'm feeling right now of happiness and petty joy at the destruction, the self-immolation of Donald Trump. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. I'd love to hear from you. You can also email me, daily@dollemore.com. Maybe I should do more Friday night videos, if this is the energy I bring, huh? Or maybe you hate the energy. I don't know. If you don't hate the energy, that was a great segue. Please consider supporting this work, helping produce these videos, helping fund what we do here. I would appreciate it very much. Click the join button below. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member. You can hit the super thanks button. You can go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere, and I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.